Well, good morning, River. It's good to be back with you today. Wanted to begin our time with just an explanation of why I am using the word brooding as somewhat of a title or a theme for these meetings we have. When I use that word brooding, I'm not saying that I'm mad or that I'm sulking or that I'm annoyed. What I am saying is that I'm thinking about something over and over and over again over a prolonged period of time. In other words, I'm dwelling on something or I'm stewing on something. And I want to understand all I can about that idea. And I want to understand how one thing fits with something else. So, for example, we're considering, have been over the last few months, and will continue to, uh, our mission as a church, our core values as a church. Those values, two of the main ones that we're emphasizing right now are knowing Jesus and how to develop relationships. And so I brood on that. And I asked the question, how does all this come together? I came across a quote that I want to share with you that illustrates this. To me, it illustrates it very, very, very well. I came across this in J.I. Packer and Carolyn Nystrom's book on praying. And they were talking about a brooding hen. And they, quote, say that a brooding hen can be both difficult and valuable. She may sit for days, even weeks on her eggs, barely moving, except for a brief break to eat and drink. But if you get a hand too near, she'll give you a sharp peck, and if you try to shoo her off of the nest, she'll flap her wings in your face and scramble back to her eggs. Yet, at the appointed time, roughly 21 days, her eggs, kept warm day and night by her vigilant care, begin to jiggle and crack open, emerging as tiny yellow peeping chicks. And they go on to say that brooding at times may look as though nothing's happening. But something crucial is going on beneath the surface. Life is taking shape and will step forth in its time. And so in sum, brooding, as I'm using that word, is the idea of stewing on something, a truth, an idea of value, like knowing Jesus and developing strong relationships. Stewing is a little bit like here, Nancy is making some vegetable stew today. And she takes all those ingredients and puts them together, and they just sit there and they stew and stew. One thing that happens, though, is multiple flavors all come together and they become a flavor. And so as I'm brooding with you, and hopefully you're brooding with me, we look at these ideas of knowing Jesus, developing relationships, and our other core values. And we ask the question, how do these become ours so that they're natural? And how do they all blend together so they're not necessarily individual, distinct things, they just sort of all flow out as one strong flavor. So I'll pick up with you tomorrow. We'll consider this further. It's good to be with you today.